Have a blissful day to each and everyone. Stop COVID, be vaccinated. As a part of our objectives, I believe that we should campaign this one because we want to help raise awareness about the COVID-19 vaccines. As we all know, there are still people who hesitate in taking COVID-19 vaccine. Also, we want to encourage other people and tell them the effectiveness of COVID-19 vaccines. Our campaign's aim is to tell what are the important things that we should know about COVID-19 vaccines so that they will not be misled with information that they get on social medias. The purpose of this presentation is to help raise awareness about COVID vaccination. Can you say your experience in this pandemic? Let's hear your story. COVID-19 vaccination in the Philippines was started in March 2021 and the country aims to vaccinate 58 million people by the end of the year. As we all wish it is good to be back to normal and getting vaccinated plays a huge part in healing the country from this harmful disease. What is vaccination? Vaccination is a simple, safe, and effective way to protect yourself from disease that can kill you before they infect you. It strengthens your immune system by utilizing your body's defenses or create resistance to specific viruses. By WHO 2021 World Health Organizations.
Statistics of COVID-19 vaccination update. As of November 2021, 52.3% of the world population has received at least one dose of COVID-19 vaccine. 7.56 billion of doses have been administered globally, and 29.64 million are now administered each day. Only 4.8% of people in low-income countries have received at least one dose. And now, let's talk about the advantages and the disadvantages when getting vaccinated. Advantages of getting vaccinated. The vaccine protects against severe illness. The vaccine reduces the risk of infections. And last, the vaccine helped us ditch the mask. Disadvantages of getting vaccinated. The only disadvantages in getting vaccinated are its side effects, namely fever, headache, chills, muscle pain, and diarrhea. As we made up our minds and want to get vaccination, we must always be ready on what to do before, during, and after vaccination. This is for us to be safe always in any circumstances that we may face. What to do before getting vaccination? First, do your research. There are many misinformations about the vaccines online, so it's important to always get the information from trustworthy sources like UNICEF and WHO. Second, talk to your doctor. If you've experienced a severe allergic reactions from any vaccine or have any questions about the medications you're taking, talk to your healthcare provider before your appointment. If you have any questions about whether you should get a COVID-19 vaccine, then better you should ask your doctor. Get a good night rest and hydrate well before your vaccination so you can feel your best on the day.
Here are the things that you should do during the day of your appointment in getting vaccination. First, of course, is you must stay safe. Make sure to follow safety precautions at the vaccination facility such as physical distancing while waiting and wearing a mask. Second is to communicate. Let the healthcare professional know if you have any medical conditions that could be considered precautions, such as pregnancy or a compromised immune system. And lastly, you have to keep your records. You should receive a vaccination card that tells you which COVID-19 vaccine you received, when you receive it, and where you receive it. Make sure to hold onto this card in the event that you might need it in the future. Right after getting vaccination or when you are done with all the steps in vaccination center, you must first stay for monitoring. The healthcare provider should observe you for about 15 minutes after the vaccine is administered to make sure you don't have any immediate reactions. When you got home, be prepared for some side effects. Vaccines are designed to give you immunity without the danger of getting the disease. While it's normal to build immunity without side effects, it's also common to experience some mild to moderate side effects that go away within a few days on their own. You must also be patient as building immunity takes time. You must not do things that may harm your body. And lastly, keep yourself and others safe. It is important to continue practicing safety precautions to protect yourself and others, including avoiding crowded spaces, physical distancing, hand washing, and wearing a mask. Here are some COVID-19 vaccination documentations that we got from different sources. Disclaimer, these photos are not ours, and we would like to give credits from the original owners of these photos. As we can see, these photos are what we usually see in the vaccination center, not only here in the Philippines, but also in other countries. Let's now move to the last part of our discussion, which is the question and answer portion. In this part, I am going to tell you the answers to the most frequently asked questions about COVID-19 vaccination. Here, I have presented 5 questions and I am going to answer these 5 questions, which are based only on the answers provided by the government sites about healthcare and from World Health Organization. And if there are questions that you want to ask which are not included in the slide, do not hesitate to ask us after we answered the questions. So first question, how do we know that COVID-19 vaccines are safe? To assure the safety of all COVID-19 vaccines, rigorous procedures have been implemented. COVID-19 vaccines must undergo extensive testing and clinical trials to demonstrate that they meet internationally recognized safety and efficacy thresholds before getting World Health Organization and country regulatory agency approval for emergency use. COVID-19 vaccine research, development, and approvals were completed in record speed, meeting the urgent need for these vaccines while maintaining high safety standards thanks to unprecedented scientific partnerships. World Health Organization and regulatory agencies will continue to monitor COVID-19 vaccine use as they do with their other vaccines in order to detect and respond to any potential safety concerns. They also ensure that COVID-19 vaccines are safe for usage around the world by going through this process. Second question, are COVID-19 vaccines safe even though the vaccines were developed rapidly? While COVID-19 vaccines were developed rapidly, all steps were taken to make sure they are safe and effective. First is the approach to developmental. Second is the clinical trials. Third is the authorization or approval. Fourth is the manufacturing and distribution. And lastly is the tracking safety using vaccine monitoring systems. These steps help in making sure that COVID-19 vaccines are safe and is even effective. For the third question, is it possible that someone vaccinated against COVID-19 will still get infected? While COVID-19 vaccines have high levels of efficacy, especially against hospitalization and severe disease, no vaccine is 100% protective. As a result, there will be some small percentage of vaccinated people who fall ill with COVID-19 in spite of being vaccinated. The World Health Organization do not yet know how long immunity from different COVID-19 vaccines will last. That is one reason why, even as COVID-19 vaccines are being rolled out, we must continue using all public measures that work to decrease exposure risks such as physical distancing, mask, and hand washing. You do not have substantial levels of protection for the first 14 days after getting vaccinated, but protection steadily develops. Protection from a single dose vaccine is generally thought to occur 2 weeks following inoculation. While a COVID-19 vaccine is most effective against serious disease and death, the World Health Organization is still studying about its potential to protect humans from becoming infected and spreading the virus. Maintain a 1 meter distance from people, cover a cough or sneeze in your elbow, wash your hands often, and wear a mask, especially in a close, busy, or poorly ventilated settings to help keep yourself and others safe when vaccination is being rolled out in your community. And always follow local authorities' advice based on the situation and risk in your area. For the fourth question, are there risks for complications when given the COVID-19 vaccine? Well, yes. Like all other vaccines, there are risks of complications, but severe of life-threatening reactions are extremely rare. The benefit of protection against severe COVID-19 is greater than the risk. Anyone who will get the vaccine will be properly evaluated and closely monitored by health professionals to further minimize any risk. And for the last question, is COVID-19 vaccination mandatory? Well, no, vaccination is not mandatory, but the government highly encourages the public to get vaccinated and be protected against preventable diseases, especially to the people who have worked or is working in a production company. Also, students are encouraged to have vaccination as face-to-face classes may happen or start sooner or later than we expected. Not only the government, but also me and my co-members encourage you to have vaccination as soon as possible. And that's it for the frequently asked questions about COVID-19 vaccination. I hope that all your questions and doubts about COVID-19 vaccination has been answered. Before we end our discussion today, I would like to leave you guys with this inspirational quote from Marie Curie. Nothing in life is to be feared. It is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more so that we may fear less. Thank you and have a good day to all of us.